losing. Connect everybody around me, I'm a catalyst passing the energy. I just wanna see everybody have a good time. The weekend's here, trust me, it's time for you to rewind. It's the weekend, it's the weekend, baby, it's the weekend, it's the weekend.
Why would you go back somewhere where they constantly want to remind you of who you used to be? Why would you want to go back to that? Them people back there feel like you owe them something and they ain't done nothing for you. Most of them said you wasn't going to be nothing. So why would you go back and sit at their feet?
Yo, what up, YouTube? Welcome to Sinn-Take, man. My name is Jay Sin, coming back with another one, man. And I really wanted y'all to see that clip from Charleston White, man. Shout out to Charleston White for that message, because we see it way too often where, you know, people want to go back to the same groups, the same friends, the same relationships, where people will remind them constantly of who they used to be when they trying to move forward. And it actually doesn't make any sense, just like he said. Why do people continue to do that? Why do people feel like they have something to prove to them when you really don't? Because that's the only reason I could think of why you would keep going around the same person, the same people, the same groups, the same energy that constantly want to remind you of somebody that you trying to forget about. You know what I mean? Somebody that you've elevated from. You know what I mean? You elevated past that level. That's like you getting to a certain level in your life, but you constantly dwelling on that. Like, bro, you beat the stage, you beat that level, and now you on a new level. Why do you keep reminiscing about that level that you surpassed already? That level that you graduated from? Those times that you lived through? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? And that's what it's like when you continue to go around the same people that constantly want to remind you of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it makes no sense, because at the end of the day, you know, some of those people are still living back there. Some people see you elevating and just want to bring you back to that space because they not happy with where they at in their life. So they want to just look at you as the same, even though you was at your lowest. They just letting you know that that's how they still think of you, even though you grown past that level. So they subconsciously trying to hold you back. They subconsciously trying to throw jabs at you and keep you boxed into that space. But people just don't see it. And why? I don't know. Is it out of love? Is it because they feel like they have nobody else? Well, guess what? Those people didn't love you. And listen, you didn't have nobody else even when you was with them. Because I can bet my bottom dollar that they wasn't trying to help you out of that space that you came out of. They wasn't trying to get you away from that energy that was dragging you down. They wasn't the ones that was trying to pull you out of darkness when you was lost. So you got to understand what Charleston's saying in that, bro, because you don't owe them anything. But for some reason, they feel like you do. So it's like somebody like that you know, that lent you money, and you might have even paid them back, but they still want to bring it up. You know what I'm saying? They still want to bring it up. Or if you didn't even pay them back, or whatever the case may be, it could have been years or whatever, but you know, either way, they still feel some type of way. But that's not the case with that. You know what I'm saying? They just want to see you continue to be the old you, and they not accepting the new you. And that's disrespect. That's disrespect. That's not real love. Those are not real friends. Those are not real people that's for you. Because if anything, you will be celebrated in that space, but you not. You know, you constantly being reminded of how low vibrational you was. You constantly being reminded of when you was addicted. You constantly being reminded of when you was toxic. You constantly being reminded of when you had no confidence. You constantly being reminded of when you had low self-esteem. You constantly being reminded of when you had nothing. You didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. And they want to keep reminding you of that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, since they haven't grown or moved on with their own life, anytime you come around them, they want to drag you back into that space. You know what I'm saying? It really is like a time warp where you trying to get out of that portal, but they want to keep dragging you back in time. You know what I'm saying? That's like Back to the Future, but you Marty and you go back there to fix some shit, but the people back there trying to keep you in that, but you want to just get back to where you was at. You want to get back to the new space that you created. You want to get back to the new life that you live. You want to get back to the achievements that you made, the grind that you own, the process that you in. You want to get back to work, but they won't let you get back to work. You know, it's kind of like that same type of energy and spirit that's around them that make you don't want to be around them. Because people fuck up all the time and they allow themselves to get dragged back into that. And that's so dangerous when you elevate it to a certain point in your life, because if you was fighting addiction at that time, if you was fighting depression at that time, if you was fighting anxiety around that time, listen, bro, you could get drugged right back into that. Because listen, if those people was doing that same shit, then guess what? That's one way you could get drugged back into it. You know, just by them reminding you of that shit can drag you back into it. Just from being around that spirit can drag you back into it, bro. So it's dangerous. Like, you playing a dangerous game, but don't realize it, bro. And it's not worth it. Your time and everything that you built is not worth sacrificing to be around that same type of energy, those same type of people, around those same type of elements, to where you was fucked up in. You know, when you graduated, when you made it through, when the Most High pulled you out of that, why do you continuously want to straddle the fence? You know what I'm saying? What do you feel like you owe these people? And why do they feel like you owe them when they never gave you anything? When they never taught you anything? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you just really got to reevaluate the type of people that you around, bro. You know, real talk. Because you want to keep going around that, not even knowing that it's jealousy and envy there. You know, it's toxicity there, and there's situations that's waiting around the corner because you want to keep going around that. So it's just a matter of time before shit, you know, start hitting the fan. And people start getting these demons in them, and they want to start talking like how they want to say what they really feel. They want to show you how they really feel. And these situations be the worst, bro, especially when you didn't see it coming. I've been in these situations, and you never seen it coming until it's too late. You know what I'm saying? You never seen it coming until it's too late, bro. And a lot of people don't make it out of those situations. A lot of people end up hurt in these situations. And it's like unfortunate because you didn't read the energy. You didn't read the signs. And oftentimes you don't see them because you don't want to see them. You don't want to see that shit. You don't want to believe that shit. You want to think that it's love. But bro, like, pay attention. Pay attention. You on this journey, you already know the energy before you even get there when you figure out who around. So it's like best that you don't go around. Real talk, man. Just consider yourself and what you built and what you have going on in your life and what you've been through, and just keep it moving. You don't need motherfuckers around constantly reminding you of when you was at your lowest, constantly reminding you about a life that you didn't live, constantly reminding you about, you know what I'm saying, the shit that you done been through, that you done fought hard out of, that you fought hard to get out of and get through. What the fuck you need them to remind you for? You lived that life. And guess what? As a fighter, you made it through that shit, and you still here. You still here pushing. You still living to tell. You still living to grow, bruh. So you don't need to be around that. You know what I'm saying? You just don't. You don't. It ain't good for you. It ain't good for your vibration. It's not good for your purpose. It's not good for the vision you have. It ain't helping nobody with you going back around that same shit that didn't do nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? But instead, it did something to you. And when you realize that, you like, shit, hell no, you know? And I get it. Sometimes we be needing a reminder. And I done that to myself. And I be like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've done that, and I immediately will feel something. You know what I mean? And it wasn't a good feeling. It was like a nauseous feeling, a sick feeling. You know what I mean? The old feeling that you felt around that time. So however fucked up that you felt around that time, whether it was the anxiety, the depression, the addiction, you know, the low energy, the low vibration, you know what I'm saying? The illness, the mental illness that you may have had, all of that shit, bro. When you go around a certain type of energy, a certain type of people, you know what I mean? Certain family, maybe certain, you know what I mean? Just a certain type of elements and shit where people doing some of the same shit you used to do, bro. That shit will hit you like a train. And you ain't even have to do nothing. You ain't did none of that. It don't matter how sober you is, bro. It don't matter how long ago you was in that state. But when you go back around that shit, you gonna feel a heat wave of all that shit coming back to you. And it's the worst feeling in the world. And you not gonna feel better until you get away from it. Until you get away from it. And that's a blessing from the Most High. Just reminding you of what you got pulled away from. That's a blessing from the Most High, reminding you of how far you came. But it's time to move forward. That's all it is. That's why there is no God higher than the Most High God. Because the Most High God is within, and you will be reminded, and you will be talked to, and you will be chastised. You will be disciplined. Right then and there. Because you know better, and when you know better, you do better. Alright? And that's my word, man. My name J-Sin, the Sinn-Take. Holla at y'all later, man. Peace.
First I'ma get on my grind, then second stop wasting my time on shit less important. If ain't about money, I'm going the other direction. And third, I'ma do what I gotta to eat. Fourth, I'ma sew up the streets. Fifth, I'ma never quit dropping this heat. So as long as I'm breathing, you better get used to me. Sixth, I'ma get